right.
Nice.
Tyler, what do you think about your schedule with the Eagles?
Boys, am I ready for the schedule? Let me tell
Here we
you,
go. Oh
Uh-oh,
God.
here it
I
goes.
was born ready for this schedule, my guys.
Brock Purdy agreed, and the Niners agreed to a 5-year, $265 million extension, full no trade clause, and 181 million guaranteed. And this pays him out 53 million a year. I thought that 45 was probably about what he was worth, but knowing that he would get 50 because that's the going rate for good quarterback play, and that's what he is. He's a damn good quarterback, and that's what it's going to cost. I wish it wasn't that high, but also it's not my money to spend. Like I'm the fan that's shelling out $35 for a hat. I'm not shelling out for season tickets. So like, uh I'll buy a shirt and I'm locked in for every game, but I'm not I don't have to worry about that part of it. That's the bean counters in the accounting office. They can handle that. Joan and payroll. That's her
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Shout out Joan.
So yeah, shout out Joan. Yeah, I'm just glad that this discussion is now put to bed a little bit. George Kittle got paid. We talked about that maybe 2 weeks ago now at this point. And breaking news today, Fred Warner, about an hour and a half ago, he gets paid for the second time in his career. He gets the highest. He's now the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. It's a 3-year, $63 million extension, more than 56 million guaranteed. So the Niners are paying out their most important, still on the right side of 30 talent. Kyle Juszczyk had to take a bit of a pay cut to stay. Javon Hargrave got ended up getting cut to make room for these kind of contracts. Debo Samuel got traded, but they've they're finally able to take the Brock Purdy question off the table. They got Fred Warner locked up because he had no more guaranteed money. He still had a couple of years left on his old contract, but it was like 29 million, but zero of it guaranteed. So they basically are throwing
Yeah.
that out. He's got the next 3 years, man, and I'm super stoked that the biggest thing that was giving me agita, I was like, just get it solved. That's what I was
Yeah.
shouting about the last few weeks whenever we talked about the Brock Purdy thing, and now it's solved. He ended up getting 53 a year. Great, love that for him. He was the last pick in the draft. Nobody makes it in the NFL from the last pick of the draft, and now here's a guy getting 265 million for it. So congrats to him. I'm glad that the Niners got their franchise quarterback locked up for the foreseeable future. And yeah, that I don't know what else to say. Just I'm really
Well, I was
excited,
reading
man.
a little bit about his deal is that it's a 5-year deal, but it's pretty much a 3-year deal is what's being speculated,
Right,
and that
yeah.
the 49ers can basically get out of the deal after 3 years, and it gives them some flexibility to convert money,
Right.
if they wanted to continue the contract.
Play
So it gives the 49ers some flexibility,
yeah, they
and I
can
think
play
one of
the
the
salary
concessions
cap
is the
game.
no trade clause, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, so the 49ers have flexibility with the money, and then Brock Purdy has flexibility of if you don't want me anymore and you want to trade me, I got a little bit of control of where I can go. So I think it's a good deal for both sides. They
Agreed.
compromised, right?
That's what's supposed to happen, right?
That's what's supposed to
Um,
happen. I'm
Nobody's supposed to
glad they
feel like
finally
they,
got something done
yeah,
early,
early-ish. I mean,
right?
in a perfect world, this would have been done right around draft day. But
So
you know
part
what?
of me,
I'll take it in mid-May. I will take it in
right?
mid-May. Love this. We're not going into training camp in July with this question looming.
Part of me feels like, with the Fred Warner thing happening so quickly, there was a little bit of a rumor that maybe the deal was being delayed because Brock Purdy didn't want to do some of the mini camps. So when you push it this far out, you finally get the some of the mini camps out of the way, and now it's just the mandatory mini camps. And then also the 49ers sold like 6% of their team to three different family, so maybe they needed to get some
A
cash to
little cash
turn somebody
infusion.
else's
Yeah,
cash.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
biggest key right there. That's how I knew the contract was coming, because when I saw that, I go,
Mhm.
"Oh, they
They're
needed to get some
I mean,
capital
yeah,
real quick."
the rumors were rumoring for sure.
With
Right around
contracts,
that
like,
time.
when you put the guaranteed money has to go into an escrow account.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like, the money has to go to an escrow account, so I think that's why when that deal came in, the 6% sold, um,
You you
they
can
needed
They
some
they,
I
they
money
mean,
pretty
to
much
go into
just
escrow.
you
they
can
directed probably about 4% of that 6% that came in. Two-thirds of it probably went straight into that escrow account just for Brock, and then break off a chunk for Fred too while we're at it.
yeah, that
Absolutely.
escrow, contract situation, I mean, multiple teams did it, but you could thank, the Bobby Bonilla for that situation. There's a reason why that is a requirement now.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I guess you're feeling pretty good about your team there, Vince.
I'm feeling so much better. This is literally like I'm doing the Steve Young, hey, get the gorilla off my back, man. In 1994 at the Super Bowl, man. Like this was the thing that was like hovering over the entire franchise right now. As soon as like the Brock Purdy thing gets done, then you can start doing some other stuff. I did find confidence that the George Kittle thing happened even before this. I was like, okay, if they're doing the George Kittle thing, that tells me that they're feeling real good about getting Brock Purdy done soon. And it took a couple more weeks, but for it to get like announced, but it happened. We're done. We're on to Cincinnati. Like uh, as as
Absolutely.
as as Jordan's boyfriend once said.
Well, there was a couple of other contracts that got signed in the NFL, and I know we're gonna circle back
Hmm.
to the 49ers and our other teams because the schedule release. So why don't you take care of the numbers here with the signings in the rest
Oh
of the
yeah,
league?
Derrick Henry and the Ravens, 2-year, 30 million extension, 25 million guaranteed. That's the most ever money for a 30-year-old or older running back. He's still performing incredibly well last season, and if you're somebody that has him in like dynasty fantasy football, you're just rocking with him till the wheels fall off, man. That's when you're just gonna ride into the grave. This is
Absolutely.
he's going to be great until he's not, and as far as we can tell, he's still going to be great, and he's getting paid like it. So good for Derrick Henry. The Titans don't ever want to pay anybody. That's how AJ Brown ended up in the Eagles. And this is how Derrick Henry ended up with the Ravens. He performed well for the Ravens, and wouldn't you know it, he's getting rewarded, and we love that for him. Um, you know,
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
was
Hey, round of
major.
applause for all the
Yeah,
guys getting paid. All
that's right.
right.
Well,
Yeah,
to be fair, the Titans said that, AJ Brown's going to cost us too much, and we already have the future AJ Brown and Traylon Burks, who
yeah.
no longer is on the team
And they've
anymore.
been right.
uh, they've been dead wrong.
I think Traylon Burks is currently a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I thought the Titans dropped him this season. So, but anyways,
Yeah. Let's see.
swing and a miss.
Yeah. Let's see. The Bears are focusing for the new stadium on Arlington Heights. After significant progress there, according to the Athletic. So, yeah, just other random news and notes. Here and there. Yeah,
That has
that's
been
basically
so,
it.
like,
Yeah.
on and off for the
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Bears, the Arlington Heights thing. I believe
Mm-hmm.
they, like, bought land or tried to buy land some years ago, and then Chicago said, "We're gonna fix Soldier Stadium," and then
Yeah.
they were trying to work like, it's just a mess over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, they were trying to get something done in downtown Chicago, and that project is kind of just not happening. So they're going out to
Yeah,
the suburbs now.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the Bears are at. They did just put money into Soldier Field not too long ago, also, which is just kind of the way the way it goes, isn't it?
And
Now
nobody
with these
likes it.
stadiums, yeah,
Nobody likes that renovation.
no, that renovation was not done well at all. We got to see it in 2019 as we were
Yeah,
driving in from the airport, into the city when we were doing that
yep.
road trip out there. But yeah, so I like it when teams at least stay within range of their homes. We're a little bit on edge whenever teams are relocating or talking about new stadiums and stuff like that. There's another piece of news that we'll get into a little bit later tonight, but this is good that at least they're staying within the Chicago area, Chicagoland as they call it out there.
Yep.
So good for them. And with that, I think let's just start talking about the schedule. Who wants to go first? With your
No,
teams.
I'll let you guys go. I got all my schedule leaked last week, so you guys
Right,
go.
fair enough. Okay, you know what? I'll just keep talking. Why not? The Niners got we already knew they were going to have the easiest schedule based on win percentage because the teams are basically locked in as soon as the season ends. It's just a question of when you're going to play these teams. The Niners have the easiest schedule in the league based on the 24 win percentage. So they're going to open up on the road at Seattle and at New Orleans. They come home to play the Cardinals and the Jaguars. And then they got a Thursday night game in week 5 against the Rams. The Niners could be 4-0 heading into that game. If they get that first one in Seattle, I think Seattle's going to come back down to earth a little bit after losing, all those pieces and getting a new coach and everything. And I just, I am I'm expecting 3-1 minimum at that point going into the Rams game. I would not be shocked at all if they're 4-0. I would be shocked if they're 1-3. I'd be disappointed if they're 2-2. So the Niners are going to be able to get off to. They have the chance to get off to a really hot start. You get the Rams, and then you got the Buccaneers, and the Falcons are actually probably going to be a pretty good team back to back to back. The Texans are probably good, but we'll see how things are shaking out there. But they get to play in week 9 the Giants, uh, and that game is there could be a different head coach by the time the Niners play that team. Because the Giants got no favors for their schedule, man. The only tough part for the Niners schedule is the Week 14 bye. I don't love that. I don't love having a bye that late into the season. I think ideally, probably Week 11 ish is when you want it, like mid-November, sometime around there. That I think that's the perfect bye. You want to have more than half the schedule done, but not so much more than half that it's just too late and the rest doesn't even matter. The rest is overdue.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was just like taking a cursory look at this schedule. um they finish up the season. You got the Titans, the Colts, the Bears, and then the Seahawks. Those are your last 4 games after the schedule. Before the bye, you have the Browns and the Panthers and the Cardinals. So like the Niners could like feasibly head into that final week of Seattle, especially if the Bears don't have it figured out. Like you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like they could be like on who knows, like a 6-game winning streak or something like that heading into that game. Depending on how things break. Like if it's like if it's crazy snowing in Cleveland, for example, that could be a wash. But overall, the Bears are coming here. The late December game against Indianapolis, that's not out in the weather. They have a dome, you know. Um, so in terms of weather, the only true weather question mark you have for the Niners is that Cleveland game on November 30th. So other than that, the Niners got pretty fortunate with the way the schedule shook out.
My guy acts like
Absolutely.
global warming doesn't happen.
Right. So yeah, I mean, November 2nd against the Giants. I mean, it's possible it could be a little rainy and ugly there. I don't know how. It's impossible to know for sure. But yeah, you should beat the Giants anyway. The Browns, they got 5 quarterbacks right now, so we don't even know who's going to be starting by that point. Yeah, I'm looking cautiously optimistic, and I'm seeing like 12 wins is well within possibility, for the 49ers. This is I mentioned it at the end of the last season. Getting this 4th place schedule is going to be a boon, and the boon is booning. Here we are. They have if the Niners can stay healthy, they should be able to handle business. I'm expecting double digit wins. I'm meant like as I check it off, like I said, 12 wins is what I'm expecting. Anything less than 10 wins, I think, is a disappointing season. So that's where I stand with the
Okay.
Niners. Who's
I
going next?
100% agree with you, Vince.
Yeah.
As the, not a 49er fan, but just somebody who lives in the market, watches a lot of their games, just based on the schedule, based on their coaching, right? What they're
Mhm,
supposed to be as far as like showing up to play and the
mhm,
scheme that they're running. They got the quarterback. They got the quarterback on defense re-signed. Like they got a lot of guys returning. You got a lot of young guys coming in.
mhm.
I would think
We
10,
got
11
HR in
wins.
the chat saying free Kuminga and then the Niners will win 9 games max. We'll see about that. Niners are going, I'm calling it right now, 12-5. Book it. Book it.
um,
12 and
I see
5.
the 49ers, like for me, it's like
Thanks
the
for watching, HR.
the
Appreciate
bottom,
you.
the bottom is 10 wins, right? The
That's the bottom.
bottom
That's
is
my
10 wins.
basement.
Like that's my
Because
expectation.
because of the fourth place schedule, they have the easiest schedule going in. Um, the Rams are going to be a tough one. I think they probably split the games with the Rams because that's kind of what happens. Shanahan does have the regular season advantage there. Yeah, I mean, like if I'm being super critical, like and I give everything that's a question mark a loss, we're looking at 10 wins minimum. That's like that's where I'm at with the Niners. So there we are. Um, Sam, do you want to go next? Talk about your Raiders schedule with Ashton Genty. Who's he going to be running over?
He's going to be running over the entire league. I think the Raiders. It's easy to say that they're going to be last in the division just based on what last year's results were. But I'm telling you, man, this is a totally different team. It is completely different. As somebody who's like watching every single thing that this team is doing right now and consuming everything they're doing, they're going to be a buttoned up franchise. I don't think there's going to be any nonsense coming from John Spytek and Pete Carroll. You're not going to have the descent that happened with Josh McDaniels. The guys that they're targeting in free agency and in the draft. We hate to point it out, but you're not getting the Henry Ruggs and the Damian Arnetti, with the guns, and you're not getting the extra. Like everybody is really buttoned up. Ashton Genty, his mom's a teacher. His dad was in the military. It's like a disciplined kid. I mean, you could see that throughout the draft. They got 11 players in the draft, guys. 11 picks this past draft, plus the guys that they signed after the draft. They're turning this roster over, and we're hearing it all the time. Compete, 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 right? That's what Pete Carroll is all about. And that's what we're seeing in training camp. There's a lot of money on this coaching staff. There's high expectations. You're bringing in a professional quarterback. I'm not saying Geno Smith is a top 5 guy. He's a professional. He's
Yeah,
not
he's a good
gonna
quarterback. I think
He's a
he's a good
good
quarterback.
quarterback. He's gonna do his job. He's gonna do it to the best of his capabilities, and he has a little wiggle to his game. If you don't watch him, he's gonna run for a first down. So he has a little bit of wiggle. He loves the deep ball. You go out and you draft wide receivers that can get downfield. You got guys coming back, Jacoby Myers, that he's a route runner. So there's a lot of guys that they added to this team that are going to be able to do a lot of things. And you got Brock Bowers, and he did that with some of the worst quarterback play in the league. And now you have a quarterback who can get the ball downfield, make reads. You're going to have a really good running back. You spent a lot of capital in the draft in the middle rounds, getting some really good offensive linemen. You continue to add to the defensive line with. Have you seen this guy, Plegas? I hope
Hmm.
I'm saying that right. This dude is an animal. I'm not saying he's going to come out and be a all pro defensive tackle right off the bat, but this dude is huge and extremely athletic. And like I said, all of these guys, these personalities, you see them in the interview room, like they love football. They got some dog in them. They want to compete. They want to fight. And I just think the Raiders next year, they're going to be a tough out. Maybe they're not a 14-win team or a 13-win team, but they're not going to be an easy layover. Pete Carroll teams for the most part, they show up, they do their job, and they're going to be a tough team to put away. So I think they're going to be a sneaky good team. My baseline is you got to get to at least 9. For me, you got to get to 9. In that first year, I would love to get 10, 11, 12 wins. I would love to get a playoff spot, but I have to be real. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the division. The other teams did make playoff spots last year, but I think the Broncos are going to regress. I still don't believe in that quarterback. I'm not really sold on anything what the Chargers do. I know they got Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, but I'm not sold on those two teams, to be honest. I could see those two teams regressing, and I could see the Raiders greatly improving, just with everything that they're doing within the program. The positivity is high. The fandom is finally united. It's there's not a lot of there's a lot of support. There's a lot of fun, and the
It
Raiders
sounds. Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say it
with the
sounds like
Raiders.
everybody's pulling the same in the same
Everybody's
direction.
excited. That Pete Carroll energy, man, it is contagious. Like when you're that positive and that attentive to detail and a teammate and accountable, that type of stuff is contagious. And I think that's where things get really fun. Like Vince, you and I, we had a lot of performative background while we were in school and we met and stuff like that. And when the whole team is on the same page, things get rolling, and you start building momentum. And when you can trust the guy next to you, to your left, to your right, in front of you, like when you can trust that that person is doing their job, it makes you want to do your job. So I just see a lot of positivity and things like that, and the preparedness. And like I said earlier, the Raiders are spending a lot of money on this coaching staff, and that was one of the things that when Tom Brady and his group came in and bought this team, or a percentage of this team, that money, it's going to the coaching staff. It's going to the scouting. Look at John Spytek. He took 2 pieces from Tyler's team. He took 2 pieces from the front office. And Spytek has a history of being an Eagle. He's been a part of very good front offices, and he's taken from the best. Like you see some of the pieces that the Raiders have added in the front office. These are, very highly very highly, rated people in their respective field. And for the Raiders to get those two gentlemen from the Eagles, they gave them a big shiny new title. They gave them a big fat paycheck. We don't know exactly what it is, but if you're going to leave, I'm going to say they're probably the best ran organization from a football operation from Howie Roseman down, right? They're probably they got the best roster in the league. That's front office building, man. That's them. That's everybody from GM down to the scout doing their job. So to poach those guys, because the Eagles are going to compete for another Super Bowl just with the talent that they have, the Raiders did a great job of getting 2 of those guys to get your program jump started, because they know what it's like to win. And like I said, that's contagious. That winning, that mentality of showing up, that energy of being a good teammate, no matter if you're a football player or a front office person, or for the 49ers, Joan and payroll, everybody has a job to do. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. The biggest difference with the Raiders right now is it doesn't feel like they're gonna soil themselves, right?
Right. All
So,
right.
that's
Yeah.
that's my goal is 9 wins, and I think,
Okay.
that puts you above 500, and then anything from there is cake. It's all gravy. It's dessert after dessert each win. But that's what I see, guys. I'm pretty hopeful that they're going to be a solid product, and we're going to see Brock Bowers, we're going to see Genty, we're going to see some young guys really step up, and we're going to see some veterans kind of lead this Raiders team into a new era of winning football.
All right.
Nice.
Tyler, what do you think about your schedule with the Eagles?
Boys, am I ready for the schedule? Let me tell
Here we
you,
go. Oh
Oh,
God.
here it
I
goes.
was born ready for this schedule, my guys. Super Bowl champions have showed up, and I am ready. Let me tell you 2 things, okay? I got 2 games circled. Week 10 and week 11. Week 10 is
I
the Green Bay Packers. I am ready to punch them in the damn mouth for trying to ban my tush push. And number two, NFL's trying to do a trap game on us. They make week 10 a Monday game, and then they make the Detroit Lions that following Sunday. But you know what? We're ready, born ready, champions, man. That's what we do. And let me tell you something else, okay? December 14th, that's the day that George Washington died. That is the birth of quantum theory. And that is the day that we put our hard hats in and we clock in and go to work. Raiders coming to Philadelphia. I am ready. Schedule. If we don't get 13, 14 wins, boys, it's not going to be a lock this season. The Commanders are coming in hot. We'll see what the Cowboys are going to do. I still think they're going to be the Cowgirls and do what they do best. But right now, it's the Eagles division to lose, and I'm ready for the schedule, baby.
Yeah, I can't wait to drop my how about them fraud boys. You know,
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
really I'm excited for that. Every year it happens at some point.
Yep.
They reveal themselves to be the frauds that they are, and I'm ready for it. And I can't wait to see when it happens. Is it going to be early in the season, or do we have to wait a little bit? Do they like do a little fakey, like maybe it's for real this time? But at some point, it's going to come around. They're going to mess it up. They're going to be fraudulent as per normal, as per usual. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for the energy that you just brought there, man. So
Thank you.
anything, I did note that in terms of miles traveled, Tyler,
You're now.
you're not too bad. You're going to be under 16,000 miles
Because
traveled.
we're not going to Brazil this year.
Yeah. The Raiders are going to be just a tick over 18,000 miles traveled. And the Niners, as usual, are top 5 in terms of miles traveled. They'll be at 28,363, according to this meme that I have. That's going to be 5th most miles traveled. Jacksonville is up there because they go to London, if I remember correctly. Seattle, and then both LA teams. Like, you know, so typical West Coast teams, those are the ones that travel the most. And that doesn't surprise me. You got, you know, so that it is what it is. You know,
I'm ready, baby.
it is.
Let's see what
And
this short gets us, huh? What do you think, Tim? Give me a thumbs up.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's right. Hit the bell for alerts. Yeah, Cowboys are going to cowboy, as Papa G says in the chat. As yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. I just don't know when it's going to happen. It's always a fun little surprise, and I have a coworker who sits next to me who is a Cowboys fan, so I get to walk in and rub it in her face a little bit. I just don't know when that's going to happen. Is it going to be September? Is it November? I don't know. We'll find out, though. We'll find out.
I saw a funny thing about you had mentioned the Giants' schedule was pretty messed up. It is pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But there's the running joke is that the Eagles' schedule would be the hardest one if they didn't have to play the Giants twice a year.
That's true. The Giants are helping lower that down a little bit, give you a nice little cushion, you know.
There we go.
All right. Just a couple of notes. The international games, the Vikings get to play back-to-back in Dublin and London. So that's fun for them. Like that's kind of, you know, unexpected, I guess. Let's see what else. The Chiefs are going to be playing in Brazil against the Chargers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, have fun with that. We don't want any. Yeah, whatever. Let's see. Madrid is getting a game for the first time. They're getting the Commanders and the Dolphins. Berlin is getting the Colts and the Falcons. London gets 3 international games in 3 consecutive weeks. That's the Vikings, Browns, and then the Broncos and Jets, and then it's the Rams and the Jaguars.
Man,
those are 3 lopsided games. I think. Like I think the visiting team is gonna smoke everybody. Like
the Jaguars go like every year because the fan base in London, like there's a ton of NFL fans, but like predominantly, a lot of them are Jaguar fans. I have no idea
and that's because
why.
they've been going every year. Like it's sort of it's sort of self-fulfilling prophecy at this point for them. Like they're the team that goes at least once every year because Shad Khan is the owner and he wants to do that, and that's the favor they granted him.
Do you think English fans look at the Jaguars like we look at Wrexham and just root for the underdog in hopes that something turns around for them?
I don't know. Some do, I'm sure. Others are smart and choose other teams based on, either winning history or winning present, or if they're
Yeah,
looking for somebody that hasn't gotten the final step done but has been close a few times, there's a certain place they can look as well.
it's true. It's true.
If you want to feel like you're rooting for a team that actually has a chance at doing it but hasn't done it yet, this is the sort of bandwagon to jump on. Uh, Always room. Always like I'm a big believer in a big fan base, expansive fan base, a big tent, if you will. Yeah, so could be fun.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but you got to get on at like a low point.
yeah, like the Sharks thing that we talked about in the
Yeah,
past.
you
Like,
got to get
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Got to grind a little bit. You,
Yeah.
you you can't get on the Philadelphia Eagles train right now.
yeah. No,
Like,
can't
that's like the
happen.
worst
I don't know.
training.
I hyped up. If you want to join me after my hype video, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm all in now.
absolutely. Right, for sure.